So we're laying here under a Ford Transit T250. It's a 2018. This one has the proper drive shaft coupling, which I actually think is on the other end, but we are on the differential side. So I'm coming at this backwards. So we're sitting here looking at the back end of the drive shaft coupling on a 2018 Ford T250 Transit. This has been removed for flat towing, and that enables it to be pulled with all four wheels on the ground. This is the only thing you need to do in order to flat tow it, aside from making sure your steering wheel does not lock, which you resolve that by turning the key one click. Then you are able to flat tow it. That's all that it takes. This is actually common knowledge in the towing community. When they do need to tow vehicles like this or heavy trucks, you often pull the drive shaft so that you can tow with the four wheels flat on automatic transmissions. So this has just been flat towed from New York to Vermont. It was about a 5-hour trip, and now I am hooking up the drive shaft again to make it operable. I'm going to bring you over to here. If you can see, I got some marks on the drive shaft, which let's see, you can kind of see them. Oh, here we go. So I got one there. This one here was two. So I indexed the drive shaft to the coupling to make sure there was no balance issues. It's very easy to do with a marker. Actually much better with indexing paint, which you could just use any kind of paint, which I'll be doing afterwards on here, because this will be pulled one more time for a 3,000-mile journey. We're going to flat tow it out from Vermont to Washington State. So I just wanted to bring you under here and show you how this process goes, hooking it up. And if you play the video in reverse, you'll know how to unhook it. See here, I have it strapped up. I had this strap at first, and then I decided to go ahead and use a bungee cord on here. This is kind of secondary in case the bungee breaks. Bungees are known to snap, usually when under heavy load, and there's hardly any load on here at all. The drive shaft isn't that heavy, but I had redundancy on it, so I have two, and I will be doing the same thing after I unhook them. There are some convenient tabs right under here. This is an RV build, so you are looking at the propane line coming up from the propane tank, and you can see over here the other side where I just hooked it to one of the holes on the frame. So first thing we're going to do is take these off. We will get it aligned on here. I'll get the drive shaft moved. So what I could do is to put the transmission in neutral, and that'll allow me to rotate this a bit and get that on here. The other thing you could try to do is to move your wheels, which is easy if you have somebody helping you. I don't, but you want to get this rotated so it becomes lined up with these marks. So you're putting the bolts in, and it is just 4 bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just takes 4 bolts, and we'll get to it. Okay. So we pulled off the bungee. there. Most people are probably not going to have this part right here. This is a rear diff skid plate by Van Compass that's been installed. And we have there's two down there or up there. Okay, there we go. In case you're wondering, the emergency brake is on. Not smart to come under here if it wasn't. But we are also on a very flat level surface that doesn't have easy rolling resistance, but do make sure your emergency brake is on when you're doing this. If you're doing this. So here we go. That's one. That's two. So there we are there. When I pulled this, this was attached onto here pretty well, and it just took a little shot with the 20-pound hammer. I have a little sledge I hit right here with, and that just broke it free. It was really, it's just held on there by rust, basically, is what's keeping it together. Once you give it a little tap, you don't have to hammer on it, but you do have to give it a tap, break that rusty surface free, and then she's good to go. With the rear diff skid plate, you do have to rotate the bottom two up here because you will not get a wrench on it without one. You don't need to do that at all. So that's a little extra step in here, is that once you get two of these secured, I think it was a M12. Yes. It's an M12 that I used to break this free, and it did require some force. Snug. You might be able to do it with a knuckle, but this nut actually comes back right into this area. So when you are removing, when you are removing it, you can't just back it all the way out on here if you're using this. I see I'm quite crooked there, but you have to do some of it by hand, otherwise your ratchet will just be wedged up in here and the screw won't come out. I'm lucking out right now. I got barely enough room to get this one on. I might be able to do the other side. You should torque these down. Once I get these on here, I do not know what the torque specs are, but I will have to do a quick internet search on that, get the torque specs, and get this torqued up. Once it's on here. Fun note while I'm under here, I don't know if any other manufacturers are doing this, but Ford uses a lot of one and done bolts, which means they get torqued once and then you can't torque them anymore. If you try, you will crack them. So they are torqued to beyond a spec. That can be torqued again. I learned that the hard way. So do make sure you know which bolts you can torque multiple times and which ones you can't. We get the last one. Oh God.
What was that?
This one will take a while because I don't have much throw on it. Throw being the distance, I can move this back and forth. Okay, so this is attached. We're done here. This is only being moved a short distance, so I'm not actually going to torque these. But if you are done with your trip and you want to get back on the road, torque down your 4 bolts. I could put a note in the description of what that torque setting is for this 2018. Yours will be different. Very easy to look up. That's all it takes. We are now back to being operable and good to go.